In ancient China, Confucius and Lao Tzu were focused on peace and social harmony, not much on military matters. Then Sun Tzu stepped in with groundbreaking ideas about war. His strategies were game changers, influencing leaders like Napoleon and even ancient figures like Hannibal. But how can we use these strategies in our daily lives? And what did leaders like Napoleon and Hannibal do with them? Also, what traits should generals avoid? Hello everyone, I'm your host Hadi Yasin, and today we are diving deep into The Art of War by Sun Tzu. 5 factors. The art of war is governed by 5 factors to be taken into account in one's deliberations, which include the moral law. The moral law causes the people to be in complete accord with the ruler, so they follow him regardless of their lives, dismayed by any danger. Sun Tzu reminds us that without constant practice, officers will be nervous and undecided when mastering for battle. Without constant practice, the general will be wavering and irresolute when the crisis is at hand. Heaven. Heaven signifies night and day, cold and heat, time and seasons. Earth. Earth compromises distance, great and small, danger and security, open ground and narrow passes, the chances of life and death. The commander. The commander stands for the virtues of wisdom, sincerity, benevolence, uprightness of mind, and self-control. Method and discipline. Method and discipline are to be understood the marshalling of the army and its proper subdivisions, the graduates of the rank among the officers, the maintenance of the roads by which supplies may reach the army, and the control of the military expenditure. Traits in which every general should avoid. There are 5 dangerous faults which may affect a general. Recklessness. Recklessness, if unchecked, can lead to destruction. It's crucial for a general to meticulously calculate all factors, including weather conditions and the strength of the enemy forces, to be avoided. Bravery without forethought can lead to recklessness fight. As Cao Kang suggests, hacking to a mad bull charging, Wu Tzu tells us, in estimating the character of a general, men won't pay exclusive attention to his courage, forgetting that courage is only one out of many qualities which a general should possess. The merely brave man is prone to fight recklessly, and he who fights recklessly without any perception of what is expedient must be condemned. Cowardness. Cao Kang defines cowardness as the trait of a person who is inhibited by fear from seizing an advantage, as well as someone who readily flees the sight of a danger. However, as Sun Tzu understood, success in war often requires calculated risks. Cao Kang emphasizes the consequences of letting opportunities slip away, warning that it can lead to a disaster. In an anecdote from 404 AD, Liao Yu pursued the rebel Huan Xuan up the Yangtze River and engaged in a naval battle at the island of Qinghuang. Despite being outnumbered, Huan Xuan's fear of defeat led him to keep a boat ready for escape, dampening the morale of his troops. When the loyalists launched fury attack, Huan Xuan's forces were routed, abandoning their belongings and fleeing for days. Hasty temper. A general who lacks composure and can be easily provoked by insults is unfit to lead an army. How can he be expected to control and lead others if he can't control himself? In 357 AD, Yao Sheng faced Ten Xiang, refusing to fight. Yao Sheng retreated behind his walls, but Ten Xiang was aware of his opponent's temper and devised a strategy of constant attacks to goad Yao Sheng into battle, which worked. Yao Sheng pursued the enemy's feigned retreat and was eventually defeated at Sanyang. Delicacy of honor. Sun Tzu criticizes an exaggerated sensitivity to slanderous reports, condemning those who are easily wounded by criticism, even if it's unjustified. Miao Shan notes that the seek after glory should be careless of public opinion, over solicitude for his men. Sun Tzu warns against sacrificing important military advantages for the immediate comfort of soldiers. This short-term thinking can lead to greater suffering in the long run, either through defeat or prolonged conflict. Sometimes generals may feel pity and make decisions that go against their military instincts, like trying to relieve a besieged city or reinforce struggling units. In South African War, repeated attempts to relieve Ladysmith ended up in causing more harm than good. Types of grounds. The art of war recognizes various varieties of ground. Facile ground. It's when they penetrate into hostile territory, but not too far. Tumo explains, once your army crosses the border, destroy your boats and bridges to show everyone you're committed and have no intention of turning back. Contentious ground. It's the ground that holds significant strategy values for either side. Cao Kang characterizes it as a terrain where smaller, weaker forces can overcome larger, stronger ones, like the neck of a pass. Tumo describes it as a ground to be fought over, Consider the Battle of Thermopylae, where 300 Spartans famously resisted a Persian army of 300,000 soldiers. Serious ground. Serious ground is when an army has advanced deeply into enemy territory with fortified cities left behind in its rear. Desperate ground. It's when an army only hope for survival is to fight relentlessly and achieve victory. We saw this in the Vietnam War, where the determination to resist the Americans drove them to succeed, as the alternative was certain death or defeat. This concept also inspired Robert Greene to develop a modernized version called the Death Ground Strategy from the book 33 Strategies of War, where you work as if your life depends on it, leaving no room for rest. Daily strategies. Conceal your plans. Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt. Sun Tzu. Think of it this way. In a room of poker, you don't want your opponents to know what cards you're holding, right? Sun Tzu's wisdom applies the same concept to warfare. He recommends that keeping your plans hidden and unpredictable, like the darkness of night, so your enemies won't anticipate your moves. Then, when you decide to act, do it so swiftly and forcefully like a sudden thunderbolt. This element of surprise can catch your adversities off guard and give you the upper hand in battle. Turn misfortunes into a gain. The difficult of a tactical maneuvering consists in turning the devious into the direct and misfortune into a gain. Sun Tzu. Imagine you're driving to a destination and suddenly you encounter a roadblock. Sun Tzu's advice is not to just turn around and give up, but to find another way to reach your destination. In warfare, it's about facing obstacles and setbacks and finding ways to overcome them. Sun Tzu suggests that the real skill lies in being able to navigate through these challenges by turning indirect path into direct route and using misfortunes into your advantage. It's all about being flexible and resourceful in finding solutions, even in the face of adversity. And history showcased it through two famous passages across the Alps, that of Hannibal, which laid Italy under his mercy, and that of Napoleon 2000 years later, which resulted in a great victory Marengo. Patience. If you wait by the river long enough, the bodies of your enemies will float by. Sun Tzu. Picture being in a race with competitors ahead of you. Instead of rushing to catch up immediately, you maintain your pace and observe their movement. Why? Because you recognize that if you wait for the right moment, they may tire out or make a wrong turn, giving you the opportunity to overtake them effortlessly. In warfare, sometimes waiting and observing can lead to victory as your adversaries reveal their weaknesses or make some strategical errors. It's about timing your actions wisely and seizing opportunities when they arise, rather than rushing into battle blindly. Preparation. He will win who prepared himself, waits to take the enemy unprepared. Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu believed that thorough planning is crucial in determining victory in war. By envisioning and preparing for every possible scenario, a general gains an advantage in winning battles. This idea is exemplified in La Casa de Papel, where the professor always had a contingency plan for any trouble during the heist, envisioning every possible scenario that they might face. Deceive your enemies. Appear weak when you are strong and strong when you are weak. Sun Tzu. So here's the thing. In war, sometimes it's not about showing your cards right away. Sun Tzu saying that when you have a chance to attack, we should act like we can't, and when we're using our forces, we should make it seem like we weren't doing much at all. It's all about keeping the enemy guessing. If we're close by, we want them to think we're far away, and if we're far away, we want them to think we are right around the corner. It's like playing a game of cat and mouse where the element of surprise can be our greatest weapon. My thoughts. This book played a significant role in inspiring me to start reviewing books. It's a compelling read for history enthusiasts, especially for those interested in politics and philosophy. However, I wouldn't recommend it for individuals seeking pure philosophy, like the Book of Meditation for Marcus Aurelius or the Book of Letters from a Stoic for Seneca, as it's primarily focused on warfare, detailing strategies involving terrain, obstacles, and espionage. Thank you for watching.